Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much, my dear friends, for coming here today. So, you all must be wondering what's this all about. Who are these IT professionals for the people, and what this symposium is all about? Let me give a bit of a background how this all came about. It all started, for me, it all started back in March. I started thinking about so many things that was happening around us. And it was on 4th of April, to be precise, that I took a conscious decision that I will stand in solidarity with people of Sri Lanka, where I ended up joining many other Sri Lankans at Independence Square in a protest that was organized. Now, at that event, I met other like-minded friends from the IT industry. Then we got together and thought, we have so many things going around us. We, as the IT professionals, needs to come together and stand in solidarity with people of this country. Now, let me tell you, I took this decision, I was having a major struggle in my life. Actually, I'm a well-off person. I will confess, I have no such financial issues or any other struggles. I can easily migrate. I'm running a global business, so I can easily migrate and operate from elsewhere and live a very lavish life, to be honest. But I was in this country for all my life. I started a company when I was just 19 years old in 1995. When everybody was leaving the country during the Civil War, I decided to stay and build a company, which is a global company today. So I'm always consciously awakened about a surrounding in Sri Lanka. So that led me to take this stand, and I'm glad there were other like-minded friends who came together, and we decided to have a protest as IT industry professionals protest, which we had our first protest on 8th of April, to be precise, at the Liberty Junction, with an overwhelming participation, which we were pleasantly surprised. Now, this is all before all these things unveiled. I mean, the Gota Gogama and everything started happening. So after that, we had our second protest on 29th of April. That was in front of Bandaranayake statue at Goldface, and we even did a protest march from there to Presidential Secretariat with a massive participation, with overwhelming support from the industry professionals. So since then, we as a group, time to time, participated in number of pocket events, number of other protests, issued some statements when there is grave injustice was happening in the country. And as you all know, you know what happened on July 9th. The pivotal moment of the people's Aragale was reached, where the incumbent president has to resign. We all know that moment. And frankly, I thought we made a major victory. And within few weeks, we realized we are back to square one. The same people who brought this country to bankruptcy and destruction nicely got together and managed to show what they are capable of. And honestly, I was really disturbed personally. I never expected, because everybody's aspiration was to see an all-party government, which would have, we hope, they listened to people's aspirations, people's voice, which was very loud and clear for almost 4 or 5 months. But they just completely ignored that, and they did what they want. And yesterday I was talking to Peter about that. Peter said that it's because, Harsha, you had high expectation. Of course I had high expectation, because I don't want to see people suffer. Innocent people suffer, because if this go on with people protesting and all these things coming, it will lead to more chaos and it's more suffering for people, right? That's what I felt. Then I also realized this whole thing is not a sprint. It's going to be a long marathon. And I was talking to someone, I think he's not here today, Moon the other day, and he was telling Harsha, I don't think this generation can change this. It will take a couple of generations to turn around things. So when we as a group, the Save Sri Lanka IT Professionals group, we were started thinking, what's next? How are we going to approach this marathon? So then we decided, rather than just doing things, let's have a brainstorming session. So 12 of us who had similar concerns got together and did a couple of workshops. And in these workshops, we came up with so many of our ideas, what we aspire to, what we want to, what's the system change meant for each one of us. And we all these things put together on a whiteboard, and we finally managed to narrow it down to seriously ask the question of why. Why we are doing this? Why we exist in the first place? When we started asking this question, we realized we needed to come with a very clear purpose. That's how we came up with this purpose of empower and enable people to be actively involved in bringing social and economic change in Sri Lanka. So this is the purpose we all unanimously agreed to work on. So after coming up with the purpose, we wanted to come up with a set of objectives that we will focus on. When it came to that, everybody has their own wish list, but we decided to narrow down and identify collectively. These are the probably 3 things that we as a group must focus with a long-term view. First of all, sovereignty, then debt burden, and our dwindling national resources and assets. Moondan, thanks for coming. I just mentioned your name. You were just telling me yesterday it will take a couple of generations to turn around things. Thank you. So after we came up with these objectives, the 3 objectives that you have seen on the screen, first, second, and third, our dwindling national resources and assets, we realized it's important to bring this to a broader group. That's why we are here today. So within the next 1 hour to 1.5 hours, you will listen to 4 speakers talking about these 3 topics, starting with sovereignty, followed by debt burden, and the final one, our dwindling national resources and assets. When I say national resources, it's human resources as well. You know the plight of our talented human resources today. I represent the tech industry. I mean, we all, majority here are from the IT industry. You know, I was just talking to Sobita. Sobita was telling, maybe I have to continue beyond my retirement because it's very hard to find talent. So this is the state we are in. After these speeches, we'll be having a very engaging Q&A session. And thereafter, 2 of my colleagues will be speaking about essentially how to be conscious citizens. I think that's what they capture. How to be conscious citizens, how we stay awake to what's going around us. If we all want to see a Sri Lanka that can be preserved for the future generations. We all aspire for that nation.